Hi there, I'm Tesla Earl on Instagram, Tesla Earl on YouTube. Please hit subscribe, thank you. So, the CEO of a company I do business with is giving me a meeting in Los Angeles, and normally I would fly there. But now I have a Tesla Model 3, I've got some free supercharging miles, but I live in Winnipeg. It's one of the coldest cities in the world, and electric cars do not perform as well in winter. So the question is it possible to drive from Winnipeg to Los Angeles in January and make my CEO meeting on time? Okay, so here's the plan. I want to avoid crossing the mountains in the wintertime. I want to avoid snow. And so from Winnipeg, that means going straight south. Grand Forks, Fargo, Minneapolis, Kansas City, Oklahoma City, and then straight west from there through Texas, New Mexico, Arizona, California, and Los Angeles, and to make my meeting on time at the Beverly Hilton. Okay, goodbye Winnipeg. Minus 28 or something. It's once it gets below minus 20, it doesn't really make much difference. It's just freaking cold. But here we are. Goodbye. I don't know if you can see the Winnipeg sign. How about if I flip around? Okay, yeah, there we go. See you later, Winnipeg. Adios. So leaving Winnipeg and heading straight south, there's 4 superchargers that are not yet active. So Pembina, North Dakota, Grand Forks, Fargo, Alexandria, Minnesota, before hitting the first active one in St. Cloud. So that makes it pretty tough. So as I'm driving south from Winnipeg towards Grand Forks, my first destination, it starts to become pretty clear that in this extreme cold, what would normally be a pretty easy hop at officially 233 kilometers, and my car is supposed to have 500 kilometers range, it looks like I'm losing close to 50 to 60%, which is ouch. So I stopped in Morris, Manitoba for 2 hours at level 2 charging at a Tim Hortons, and so when I reached Grand Forks I had just 10% battery. I wake up in the morning, go for breakfast, and the newspaper says a blizzard is coming on the weekend. It's Friday, so I make my way over from Grand Forks to Fargo, and the blizzard's already arrived. Man, it's cool. I don't know. This is blizzard-like conditions. It probably doesn't look as bad out here than it really is, but if you're out on the highway, it would be a complete whiteout. So now I have to overnight in Fargo. All highways in all directions are closed, and but when I get up in the morning on Saturday, the highway towards Minneapolis is open. The blizzard has let off, so I'm coming up on something. It's hard to tell what's going on yet, but I'm being careful, and sure enough, it's like the whole lane is completely blown in with snow. And of course, that's when some passed me. This could have turned out really bad, like deep ditch on the right, deep ditch on the left, or I could have spun and hit that guy. This trip was pretty tough. You know, whiteout conditions once in a while. The Tesla performed really well. I gotta say, every once in a while you could feel the car shimmy a bit, and all you gotta do is let off the pedal. The regenerative braking, basically slows down all 4 wheels at the same time, and so look at the highway. Wow, it's just basically the entire state of Minnesota had black ice on all the roads. It was just crazy. There's a UPS truck, a big semi truck, over and over again, like cars in the ditch, trucks in the ditch. But the Tesla performed really well. Okay, so thanks for checking out the first video. So there you have it. I made it through a blizzard. That's the first stage, and towards my trip to get to California, I got to get there on time. And this surviving the blizzard was a big deal. Maybe I should have just flown, but traveling by Tesla, this is a big test, and there's still more to come. So, road trip surprises. You never know what's going to happen, and basically, travel is no longer recommended. It's nighttime. I guess I could find a hotel, but Tesla now has camp mode, and so I got the fire going. I got the seats back, got a blanket, and I'm gonna get some rest. So camp mode means the heat will stay on at whatever I set it to, and it'll only turn itself off if the battery manages to get down to 20%. It's not really a big deal. There's a supercharger nearby, and so I'm gonna get some sleep, and then hopefully by the time I get up, the roads will be safer, and I'll be on my way. Good night. I gotta say, I was really impressed with camp mode and being able to sleep in the car. I spent 4 nights total sleeping in the car. I got very good sleep. One of the things I did to help sleep was wear my little thin cap like this over the eyes. It worked really well. And another thing I did was I guess I could have had a pillow, but even better than a pillow is the same thing I use when I travel by airplane. So this worked out really well. I even have an app that keeps track of I've got this ring and an app that tracks my sleep, and I got very good sleep in the car. So camp mode works very well. I gotta say, you know, I certainly saved a lot of money by not having a hotel every night. So you know, you don't need a big van or an SUV. Tesla Model 3 worked very well in camp mode. I've heard some people will spread out a bed in the back, like you put the seat down and you open up the trunk space, and you can sleep full size like that. But I didn't find that necessary. I was able to recline the seat back, and I did very well, sleeping right in the driver's seat. I'm impressed. You could do it too. Okay, here I am, Shamrock, Texas, and this old gas station is actually a museum. Guest visitor center, and at the back they have a Tesla Supercharger. So kind of funny, eh? The old a beautiful Art Deco museum quality gas station is now a Tesla Supercharger. So I'm navigating to a cafe, and I just wanted you to see some of the interesting things that are pretty normal in Los Angeles. So look at this interchange. Like, there's just massive, like, you know, I've never, there's nothing like this anywhere near where I live, and it's just incredible. Like, wow. So anyway, my navigation is set, and it seems like a pretty easy to get through here, but you know, not being very super familiar with freeways, it's a little harder for me, and as well to get in the right lane. So I'm going to be navigating with Autopilot, and I'm going to document how it goes, and let's see. So let's navigate to the Bulletproof Cafe. Yep, calculates the route.
Now turn right onto South Prairie Avenue.
Okay, we'll do that.
Now turn right onto West Imperial Highway. Turn right to take the Interstate 105 West ramp.
I'm on the freeway.
Take exit 2B on the right onto Interstate 405 north towards Santa Monica.
Navigate the Autopilot. So here I am. Not having to steer anymore.
Now take exit 2B on the right.
Okay, so 2B. Am I in the right lane? Am I in the right
lane?
lane?
Interstate 405 north ramp on the right.
Yeah, we did pretty good.
In 1 mile, keep left to stay on Interstate 405 north.
So I made it look pretty easy, but normally I have a hard time with that because there's so many lanes, and I was set up pretty good that I was already in a reasonably good lane to start with. But these are the things that make driving the freeway a little harder for someone like me. So, but in the Tesla with Autopilot, it really gives me the chance to focus on reading the signs, and so now it's telling me the 4 lanes to the left. So I'm gonna do a lane change. Autopilot deactivated to do the lane change, and then I think I still got to do 1 more lane. So now I'm in the right lane, and reactivate the Autopilot. So Autopilot is set to 75 miles an hour, We're going 56 right now. We're just matching the car in front of us, or a truck, I should say. And yeah, so like, what's so impressive about Autopilot is that I'm really able to, I have a lot of confidence in its ability to stop. It's like the guy in front of us just put on his brakes a bit, and we're just matching his speed very well. And this is rush hour traffic, right? It's like 5 p.m. On a Monday, and we're just cruising along and meeting up. For a while, just before I turned the camera on, we were going like 75 miles an hour, and then we slowed down into the 30s. So now we're back up into the 50s, 54, 55, 57, 59, 60, right? So it's really quite impressive, as we're just able to go with the flow and safely keep a distance between. Because it can see 2 cars ahead, it really seems to know how to keep that safe distance. Whereas, for me, I don't drive freeways very often, and this Autopilot is just awesome. We're practically locked in the middle of the lane, and I can take over at any time. But I really can. All you really have to do is push this little dial to let it know that you're still here and can take over. I'm just so impressed with Autopilot, and full self-driving is the next step above this, and that'll be amazing. But regular Autopilot is really good, and it's a standard feature on even the cheapest Tesla you can get. So which is better than the most expensive BMW you can get. So Tesla is really hitting it, and is at least 5 years ahead of the best cars in the world. And the other thing about freeway driving is, so with Autopilot, you can just stay in your lane and go whatever speed that guy ahead of you is going, and that's awesome. And you're, it just takes the worry out of the way. But regular Autopilot will not change lanes for you, and so the other strategy for using Autopilot is, to do lane changes as needed to get into the faster moving lane. But very often I'm just content going with the flow, stress-free, don't worry about it. Unless it comes to a complete stop. Like the lane beside us is a parking lot at the moment, as an freeway exit. But if that was our lane, this car would come to a complete stop. It's just, I just feel so confident that it hasn't let me down yet, like in its ability to maintain a safe distance between the car in front. Really, since getting this car in June, it's now January, so since June, the only time I've had a problem with it is when I made the mistake. I thought I was in Autopilot or cruise control when I wasn't. So, right now, I don't know if you can see, but there's a blue circle, so that means full Autopilot is on. I don't have to touch the wheel, but at some point when I had a problem, this wouldn't have been on, and when I thought it was. So now I'm very, very aware of when it's on and where it's not, and I pay attention to that. But when it's on, I have a lot of confidence. It's perfect so far. LA, you can see there's superchargers all over the place, and you know, you got quite a few to choose from, and they're all great and stuff, but there's one, if you zoom in just a little, that little guy, and it's crossed out as if you're not supposed to see it, but it's there, and it's marked reduced service. So let's see if we can get in. So there you have it. I made it inside. This is the pretty much the coolest supercharger, other than the one in Texas I saw. But it seems pretty private. Like at any time, I think they could close this for any reason. You know, like you're driving past parts for rocket engines, and I'm amazed. It's like this is amazing. I've definitely seen security around. They're walking around. They're making their presence known. So you're definitely being watched when you're around here. But if you can make it in here, then this is a pretty cool supercharger. Yeah, and it's pretty cool. It's the first one I've been to with solar panels. So can you see where I'm parked? Right outside the Tesla Design Center. And on the same day I was there, Elon Musk, the Cybertruck, and the Semi were all here. Elon was spotted with Jay Leno driving around the same streets I was on. So, did I make my meeting on time? I had used Google to estimate how long it would take to drive. Then I added 3 extra days in case anything went wrong. And things went wrong. I left a day late because of forecast weather. I thought I was being smart and avoiding some bad weather, but if I had left on time, I would have beat the blizzard. The blizzard cost me 2 more days. This could have turned out really bad. I burned up the 3 days of buffer I had. My last night of sleep was Sunday, January 19th at a roadside rest area. After waking up Monday at about 7 a.m., I stopped at 12 Superchargers, with the final one having a Starbucks, where I washed up, shaved, changed into nice clothes. It was amazing. I arrived at the Beverly Hilton at 10 a.m. looking sharp with coffee and adrenaline. My meeting went good. I was invited to a pool party and a rooftop party. Okay, thanks for checking out my video. Please hit like and subscribe. That's a big help. Thank you. And so what do you think of the car? Like, I gotta say, the Tesla for a road trip is amazing. This video took me like way longer to edit than it should have, but time goes on, and as of right now, the pandemic has hit, and I think traveling by Tesla is going to be the way to go, whereas flying, getting locked inside a can with hundreds of other people that's not a good idea anymore. So get a Tesla, with Autopilot, let the car do the driving with collision avoidance. This is the best car in the world. If you plan on buying a Tesla, please use my referral code. Now, the program, like, we both get some free Supercharger miles and a chance to win a car. But really, the program's not nearly as generous as it used to be. But what I'm really after is making the world a better place. So look at Los Angeles, and all of the air in Los Angeles is so much cleaner now that the pandemic happened. And now try to imagine what that future would be like if all the cars came back and they were electric. Well, the air would still be clean. So let's make that future happen. Buy an electric car now and use my referral code.